President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Samoei Ruto met for the first time this year after a very long time. As a matter of fact, we can't tell whether the president and his deputy have been meeting in private. Maybe they could even be meeting daily. But what we are concerned with is public appearance. The president and his deputy have not appeared publicly since December. And the last event which Kenyans can remember the two making an appearance together was during the launch of the BBI report. And the body language expert during that time opined that these two individuals, from their body language, were not very comfortable. That was then. And for those who follow the politics of this country, early this year, President Uhuru Kenyatta made changes to his cabinet. And he made changes after retreating to Mombasa for a long time. And I remember opining here that the president met very senior government officials, key political players in this country, but he never met with the deputy, his deputy William Ruto. And there were also reports that the president men denied the deputy president the chance to move to his official residence in Mombasa. So Kenyans have been waiting to see when these guys will be meeting and what will happen if they meet. And I always like saying certain things, that in politics, everything normally happens as per the plan and as per the script. And something happened, I think, last week in this country, and most people just took it for granted. The president and his deputy, for the first time ever, held different functions in Nairobi. The president presided over a judiciary function in Nairobi. While he was doing that, his deputy, William Samoei Ruto, was also presiding over an event in Embakasi South, hosted by the area MP, Honorable Theuri. That was the first time. And because the president was presiding over a judiciary function, it was just expected that his deputy was going to either make appearance there or not. Or alternatively, the event where the deputy president was going to be probably rescheduled so that it doesn't conflict with the president's diary. But it confirmed one thing, that either the people organizing president's program are undermining the DP, or they don't share, the two guys don't share their plan, let's say weekly or monthly plans. But now back to the main issue. The deputy president met with the president in Milimani AIC Church yesterday. And it was a church function where the presiding Bishop Abraham Mulwa was taking over the reign of AIC. That's actually my local church. That's actually my church. He was taking the reign from Bishop Yego, who has been there for a very long time. And when we talk of Milimani Church, there's one man who should come to your mind. The former president, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. And these two guys shared a public platform, shared the platform together. But the president decided to leave early. And the question is simple. Why did he have to leave early? And he gave his own reasons, which I want to dispute.
Na unajua si ati mtu atakuwa kazini maisha, baadaye nitakwenda kwa familia. Sasa lazima nichunge mambo huko pia. Sio tu kushughulikia huku alafu sasa si Yego sasa kuna bibi pale. Wakienda nyumbani watakuwa na kunywa chai, ati anaamuka asubuhi anaingia mama anamkumbusha hakuna kazi leo.
No, that's President Uhuru Kenyatta. I am sure there is no way family meeting would have stopped the president from staying a bit longer. There's no way. And in politics, everything is designed to happen like that. So why did the president leave early? For those who followed that event, even the protocol was breached. The bishop called the president spoke, and he left, which was normal. But in an ordinary circumstance, even if he was leaving early, an arrangement would have been made for the deputy president to be invited to invite the president, but that did not happen. And that's why Kenyans are questioning a lot of things. But I want to believe that the president did not leave because of the presence of his deputy. And I want to believe that the president left because of the following reasons. Number one is Gideon Moi versus William Samoei Ruto supremacy. Gideon Moi was present at that event. The deputy president was present at that event. According to what Moses Kuria alluded to, is the fact that AIC and Moi family are like a family. And if you listen to Moses Kuria, there's something he said. Just listen to him briefly.
Bwana asifiwe. Praise God. Outgoing Bishop Yego, incoming Bishop Murwa, makamu wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Wale watu ambao kwanza nianze na wale ambao wamezaliwa kwa hii kanisa wakiongozwa na Gideon. Halafu wale walikuja kwa kanisa wakiwa watu wazima, na wasalimie wote.
So AIC and Moi family are just like a family. So I think the president didn't want supremacy battle. He didn't want to witness the supremacy battle between the deputy president and Gideon Moi in that church. I want to believe so. So he decided, for me, let me go to the church, ask for permission to leave early, then I can leave every other thing to play out there. That's number one. Number two, I think the president was also trying to avoid being in the presence of certain political leaders, especially in Team Tanga Tanga. We know so well that there was Moses Kuria. I don't think the president is keen on sharing a platform with Moses Kuria. The president, I know. And there was the presence of so many Team Tanga Tanga. Probably the president has decided that for him and Team Tanga Tanga, they have parted ways. So anything is sharing with them in a room, he doesn't want. And because these guys were here in solidarity with the deputy president, the president felt, okay, if that's the case, for me, I don't have any reason to stay longer here. Remember what happened to Ferdinand Waititu in Kiambu. The president handlers were instructed to remove him or to make sure he sits very far. And that happened because he was only one person. So I want to believe that the president didn't want to share a platform with Moses Kuria. And I'm choosing on Moses Kuria because I can't remember the last time the president and Moses Kuria shared a platform. And remember, Uhuru Kenyatta is a prince. And Moses Kuria has been on the prince. What do you expect? The president will always avoid such people. And that's exactly what he did. So my advice to the DP, next time he wants to share a platform with the president, he must choose the right people to accompany him to such events. Otherwise, the president will continue leaving early. Number 3, I think the president didn't want politics. He didn't want to listen to anything politics. Remember, there were a high number of members of parliament, senators in that event. And if the president was to stay as per the protocol, it would have meant the area MCA, or if you bypass the MCA, the area member of parliament taking the microphone, either asking the members of parliament to just say hi, hi, greet, blah, blah, and most of them would actually venture into politics. But I know most churches have banned politics. They'll say, okay, let's finish the service, then go out. And I think that's what the president didn't want. A situation where he finds himself sitting in a church and these guys are given a microphone to speak. Because the president has stated severally that he's tired with politics. So, and that something tells me that's why he opted to speak and then leave. Because after he left, whatever was going to happen there was going to happen in his absence. Yeah, and basically, there's nothing that can explain that breach of protocol other than the fact that the president didn't want to sit, listen to Tanga guys trading accusations left, right, and center, Keleweke, if they were there. They now proceeding now again to the BBI politics, okay, proceeding from there, William Ruto, Gideon Moi politics in Rift Valley, because that church is predominantly Kalenjin. So the president didn't want to witness that. Number 4, I think the president was also trying to avoid embarrassment. What do I mean? What do I mean by a president avoiding embarrassment? Simple. The Kalenjins voted for President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the majority of the people who are present there were the Kalenjins. That's the reality. Majority of the people who are there were Kalenjins. So probably the president didn't want a situation where he's asked to speak when the rest have spoken and set the tempo, then he's being embarrassed. And basically that can explain why even in his speech, the president avoided politics completely. He didn't want embarrassment. And lastly, there's the possibility that the president was also trying to avoid his deputy. And this is based purely on the fact that for a long time now, the president has been trying to avoid his deputy, avoiding public functions with them, avoiding meetings with them. Even Jubilee meetings cannot happen because the president is avoiding his deputy. So in my view, those are some of the reasons why I think the deputy president and the president didn't wait until the end. But let me just read for you someone here, because I asked your comments and someone sent me something which was very interesting. Let me just read for you. There's a guy called Rono. He's telling me, Lee, good morning. Want to contribute about your next video, because I'd said I'll make this video. Speculations why Uhuru gave a 10-minute speech and excused himself to leave for a family meeting. He's saying, my speculation may be that the coastal leaders' resolution on BBI touched on the nerves of the First Family, Central and Rift Valley key leaders, thus occasioning convening of the meeting of First Family and PG of a section of Jubilee Party. Maybe the Kenyatta family, but for Jubilee parliamentary group meeting, this was planned and announced even before the Mombasa meeting, Mr. Rono. So forget about whatever happened in Mombasa. Then he's going on to continue. On this, my observation could be the following. A, far-reaching and sweeping resolutions on land ownership issues in the coast, especially on absentee landlords, government policy, implementation of TJRC, Ndungu report, etc. This, of course, you are crossing the lane of the First Family. So he thinks that Uhuru was summoned because of what happened in Mombasa. The issue of land, the issue of TJRC, the issue of Ndungu land report. I think if the Kenyatta family wanted to address some of these concerns, you won't even know that they are addressing them. Uhuru is the president, he has his family. Those guys can even be driven to State House or they can be driven anywhere. In this case, I suspect the president, if indeed he was going for another family meeting, is probably a wedding or a functions like that, because they are just human beings. They also have these events we normally have. There's a funeral somewhere, there's a wedding somewhere, maybe there's just a family gathering somewhere. But if it's issues to do with land, I don't think. Then it's continuing number B, economic changes of port operations at Mombasa rather than Naivasha. This again, you are competing with the first family, Rift Valley and Central Region. I don't think so, because one thing which is very unpopular is the move to relocate the functions of the port to Naivasha. That move is very unpopular. Even the president himself is well aware. Let Kenyans do business. If people want to transport their goods using SGR, they'll definitely transport. Last weekend, when people were having rallies, I saw so many of my friends using SGR to Mombasa, because SGR to Mombasa was convenient for them. So if someone will feel that his goods will be easily transported from Mombasa to Kisumu via road, and we have a good road network, then let it be. And the president is well aware. I don't think, personally, I want to disagree with Mr. Rono that the president's move to leave that venue that early had nothing to do with the event which happened in Mombasa. If it had anything to do with anything which happened in Mombasa, then rest assured that the deputy president and the president would have been called so that he gives direction. Because the Naivasha meeting, the people meeting in Naivasha, none of them are allies of the president. So you can't relate the two, Mr. Rono. I think I've done that. So he's saying, I listened to Uhuru's speech in the church, and it rhymed with what the DP said on TV, on God choosing leaders besides signaling going for retirement in 2022. I think the president has been very consistent that he's going to retire. But there's the need, I mean, there are those people who are pushing him to extend his term. So whether he's going to extend his term or not, that cannot happen, because the constitution bars the president from contesting again. But he can come as a prime minister if the constitution will be changed, and in that constitution there will be no clause which says that once you serve as a president, you cannot serve as a prime minister, because the country is guided by the rules. So it will be upon Kenyans to decide to send President Uhuru Kenyatta home if they want. But if they want him to continue, then the president will still just serve this country. As a member of parliament, he has the option. I've seen people like, for example, Governor Rasanga, who now wants to serve as either a senator or as a member of parliament for Alego Songa. I find that very interesting, because it's a choice. So if the people of Alego will feel, okay, Rasanga did for them wonders, and then they decide to elect him as a member of, he can still serve in this capacity. Alternatively, the president can decide, okay, after going home, I'll serve my country in a different capacity. Say I'll serve the country as a church elder. Maybe I'll serve the country as someone who preaches peace across the country. But you can't stop him from continuing. It's only the constitution. But that constitution only bars him from running for the presidency. I don't know what you think. But in my view, I want to conclude, and very strongly, that the president move to leave that church early, in my view, was by design. It was by design. But the only challenge which I can say is that I don't think it was right. I don't think it was right. And I don't think it was about the family. Importantly, I don't think it was about the presence of the DP Ruto at that incident. It could be combination But I strongly believe it has to do with either politics, the way I said, the politics, didn't want the politics there. Maybe the Gideon Ruto supremacy battle, especially in Church and Rift Valley, he didn't want to get involved. Maybe the politics, yeah, he didn't want to sit there waiting for this case to speak. Maybe, I mean, just that. Thank you guys. I don't know what you think, but as usual, want you guys to just click thumbs up if you like the video, click thumbs down if you hate if you don't like the video. And for those who can drop their comments, just drop your comments. That's how you can help this channel. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.